it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today I am trying out a discovery set from Akro Fragrances. It comes on this really cool tin, definitely reusable, and there are 6 fragrances for me to try, including Awake, Night, Dark, Malt, Haze, and Smoke. This fragrance brand is based on vices that we all have, that we enjoy. So it's supposed to be like a really great niche fragrance brand that has some really good credibility. The folks that created these fragrances have a pretty significant fragrance history, have created other popular fragrances. So there's a lot of hype behind these. I've heard about this brand watching an Instagram story live thing with Lucky Scent. They are a retailer of many different fragrances, and they do really great informational live videos. You can follow them and check them out, and they did a whole segment with their 3 fragrance people and they shared all of their favorite lucky scents that they just really like, and they feel, I don't know, lucky when they wear them. And I don't know exactly what that means, but I don't know, just their top scents for the moment. And a couple people really liked Akro, and even though they didn't necessarily would wear these types of fragrances normally, they like them anyway. So that, and when I saw they have a discovery set on their website, or I actually bought it on directly from Akro. But when I found out they had a discovery set, I was really excited just to try what they have. So let's get into it. I don't know the full story behind each of these. I know I think Awake is caffeine, so I think it's supposed to smell like coffee, right? So these are made in France. It's a eau de parfum. So let's go ahead and try our first one. This is Haze. I'm assuming this is a smoky one. No, it's not. I don't know what Haze refers to, because there's a separate one that's for smoke. This is really earthy. Whoa, this is different. Minty? Now I want to read about this. I think I'm going to have to confirm what I think this is. I think this is supposed to be weed, because as it dries down it definitely smells more like marijuana. That's very earthy. I could see this is definitely gender neutral. Slightly leaning more towards more men would maybe wear this, but oh wow, that smells really good. I didn't quite get it at first, but let me confirm what Haze is supposed to be. Oh, I'm looking on the website. The notes are absinthe, armoise, eucalyptus, spearmint, and clary sage. I think I really smelled that eucalyptus mint smell at first. I do get a scent reminiscent of weed that doesn't exactly smell like weed. Probably a lot of you would be that doesn't smell like weed at all. I think it hints at it, not really. And do we really? I'm sure some of you want to smell like weed, but most of us probably don't. All the time, or enough times to finish a perfume, but I really think this is interesting. Not something I expected to like, but it's definitely up there. So yeah, this is marijuana. When you look at this particular fragrance, there's a weed plant in the background, very subtle. And they give a whole scenario of what the scene is like when they created this fragrance, or what they were thinking of. I think that's pretty cool. It's not in your face marijuana at all. It is not like Black Afghano, which I have a sample of. That one definitely smells more like marijuana and richer and stronger. This is very different. Nice. It's got an interesting freshness to it. Alright, moving on to smoke. I'm assuming this is like cigarettes. Let's go ahead and try this one out. Oh my god. That is amazing. So I've been buying a lot of samples, and this so far has really impressed me. And I've been buying stuff like greatest hits, things I think I would like from a lot of different niche brands, and I haven't done videos on all of them yet, just because I'm really wanting to try them out. This of course is a first impressions, but these have really stood out from the pack. Oh wow. Ooh. So this is one of the ones, I believe, that was in one of the Lucky Scent favorites smoke, I believe, and I think this is the one. I think Awake is another one. But they don't normally like smoky scents, but they like this one and they would wear this one. I love the smell of this. I don't know that I don't know, we'll see. I like the scent of it for, like, it reminds me, of course, of one of my favorite diptyque candles, Feu de Bois, but it is not the same scent. It's kind of it's definitely more of like a smoky room and not as much of that rich fireplace sooty scent. So when it dries down, it's definitely smoky, but a different type of smoke. It's kind of interesting. So let's read about smoke. This one is slightly yellow. It has Balkan's tobacco leaves, nicotine, okay, Cade, benjoin, tonka bean. Smoke is inspired by the pleasure of the first drag of a cigarette, which is consumed as quickly as it is born. Okay, so this doesn't smell like cigarettes to me. I mean, we all know what cigarettes smell like. Kind of gross. I'm not a smoker. If you're a smoker, you may love that smell. But it does really smell like tobacco, but not in the Tom Ford sense. And it's more of this like wafty, smoke-filled room, but that's not like a fireplace smoke. It feels like a tobacco smoke. So really pretty. I mean, it sounds weird. Like, it smells pretty. Wow. Okay, moving on. Okay, next is Awake. I think this is a favorite a lot of people talk about. And I believe this is the Caffeine Coffee One spray. Okay. Kind of a chocolatey coffee smell. Okay. That smells good. Awake revisits the craziness of coffee through a concentrate of unstable energy that finds its power in bitter scents. It has Balkan's Santos coffee, green cardamom, Italian lemon, Haitian vetiver. These fragrances get better as they dry down. Sometimes I really like the opening notes of a fragrance, and as they dry down, it just becomes okay, but I think the dry down makes these a little bit more wearable because, I mean, I like the smell of coffee. I don't often buy beauty products in a coffee smell for whatever reason. Usually they come in the form of like a body scrub or something, or a body lotion or wash. I'm trying to think, what comes in coffee smell? Maybe an eyeshadow palette? I don't know. It's funny, there's like no coffee in here. Maybe it's the cardamom I'm smelling. I get chocolate notes. I don't know. Maybe it's just me wanting to eat chocolate. I wouldn't normally like want to wear a coffee scent, so this doesn't like immediately draw me in, but it does smell good for coffee. If you really love coffee, I think you're gonna like Awake because it's not overpowering. This one did get, like, I like the dry down, but it kind of died really quick. It's got a nice coffee richness in the opening that is like, woo! Yeah, I mean, this one's good too. I think if you're like me, you're gonna like more than one. So you probably should get the Discovery set so you can know for sure which one you want, or find a sample somewhere. Okay, let's go to dark. I'm not really sure what dark is supposed to be. Oh, dark chocolate. Duh. Well, maybe this one will really smell like chocolate. I wonder if you could layer Awake and dark. What? That might be nice, or too much. Who knows? Okay. Dark chocolate. Oh. This is truly dark chocolate. It's not too sweet. A little bit of vanilla. These are interesting. Dark borrows from chocolate its most seductive facets to play with emotions and captivate the senses. It has cocoa, dark chocolate, cinnamon, hazelnut, and vanilla. Huh. They're saying chocolate is something you get into as you get older. Just like coffee. When you read the about, like the backstory to this brand, there's really no sweetness to these fragrances, even though like chocolate, you're thinking, oh, you know, grossly sweet sometimes. Too much vanilla. This is not that. This is a chocolate that is truly like a unisex, men, women, anybody can wear. And I think the opening notes I really get a little bit more sweetness, a little bit more vanilla, but then it goes away into that real dark chocolate scent. Yeah, not overly sweet, just more bitter. More of that bitter chocolate taste. Interesting. So I like the concept because these kind of coffee, chocolate, they can definitely lean very like boring gourmand, but these are not boring and they don't smell gourmand, if that makes sense. So weird. Okay, I'm learning so much. The next one is Malt, which I'm assuming is beer or liquor. I'm like horribly guessing at what these vices are. I am learning. Okay, it's a delicate liquor. Whiskey, rum, leather, seawood, patchouli. Okay, is this supposed to be whiskey? Malt whiskey. Gosh, I'm not very bright. Okay, malt. Smell some booze. I don't really drink whiskey, so I probably cannot appreciate this one. And not that I like smoke weed or smoke cigarettes, but those are things that I have smelled, right, you know, through the years. I can't say I have smelled a whole bunch of whiskey to like be like, oh yeah, that smells like whiskey. It's kind of like a clean alcohol scent. I'm not, leather, seaweed, patchouli. I kind of smell the leather. This one probably is my least favorite, or at least the one I'm least excited about. I definitely smell the booziness in the beginning. I think the dry down is like a little lackluster for me. It kind of loses that booziness and goes into more of a leather note. Okay, last one. Sadly, I want to smell like way more. This is Night. I don't know what night is. I'm not even going to guess anymore. I'm kind of confused. Not surprisingly. It kind of smells like BO? Sweat? A pencil? It smells like lead. Like a pencil shavings. So confused. Night brings back the moment of desire and its musky flavor. When the night belongs to those who lust and love. Oh, is it supposed to smell like sex? It smells like sweat to me. Like a sweaty person. I like that they don't, these names are not like in your face as to what they are, because they could have easily done that. So I like the subtlety to it. But night is kind of I'm smelling a lot of like lead and pencil shavings. So it has Bulgarian rose, which I don't really smell at all. Cumin, ice, that's what the body odor smells like. Cumin. Saffron, agar oud. So I'm getting the musky oud, I guess, and the cumin really strongly. I'm not really smelling any rose, which is interesting. Wow. So not my favorite scent, the last two. Night is definitely my least favorite. It's not as... So the cumin, it's still there. I thought it died down a little bit. Is an interesting choice. And because of the cumin, I think that's how I figured out. And then when I saw Bring Back the Moment of Desire, I was like, oh, this is like a sexy time fragrance. When I think sexy time fragrance, I like a musk and I like an oud, but I don't want that body odor in there. Some of you may be really attracted to that though, like, oh yeah, I like the smell of somebody's sweat, like that might be that animalistic thing that you love. It's not, I think I get used to it as I smell it, but not something I would be super interested in. So that is all 6 from the entire fragrance line. I think they should come out with more. These are great. So the Discovery set, this is $32. You get 2 milliliters per bottle here. Comes with a nice sprayer, and you get this really cool tin. It may seem a little bit pricey, but when you order like a sample, it's a little bit over $5 a piece, which isn't really out of line for a sample this size with a sprayer. If you can, of course, try these in person, that's really ideal, but not all of us can. So something like this, really valuable. So I liked 4 out of 6. It was really fun for me to try to figure out what these are before I look them up and, realize, oh, this is what that is. Like, I knew Awake was coffee just because I've heard, the reviews. And I heard Smoke was good. I mean, that's pretty easy. Haze, I had no idea because they already had Smoke. So I thought, once I smelled it, I was like, oh, marijuana. I think for your if you're a little bit scared to do niche that isn't more traditionally feminine, which ones do I think you'll like? I think you should pick your vice. So if you enjoy coffee, I think you're gonna like Awake. You can layer it with other fragrances to make it even more, I don't know, if you like a vanilla coffee, you want to be a little bit more sweeter coffee, but I think this Awake is a nice one. Haze, it's got a nice freshness to it. It doesn't really smell exactly like weed, but it is got that earthy smell that kind of reminds you of a little bit of a hint there. If you like marijuana and you want a more earthy, fresh fragrance, I think Haze is pretty good. Smoke, I think, wow, this is up there. I really like Smoke. I've never tried a cigarette in my life, but I do like smoke smells, and I think this smells pretty damn good and unique. And dark, I wanted to like this a little bit more. I actually wouldn't mind if it was a little bit sweeter, but it really isn't. Yeah, I don't... It does smell like chocolate, but I don't know if I'm like a chocolate fragrance person. But if you are, I think this smells... I think it's interesting that it's not sweet, and it does... The opening really does smell like dark chocolate. It is bitter. It's not that milk chocolatey smell that you normally get with a chocolate fragrance. I mean, it is nice. For chocolate, that is nice. If I was into chocolate, I would dig that. I mean, I'm into eating it, but fragrances. Okay, yeah, I think smoke is... Smoke is good. Smoke is good. I'm gonna smell all of these again. I like coffee. I'm not, as I said, I'm not like necessarily a absolutely have to have coffee everything. It does smell good. I think coffee is going to be nice in the fall, like a nice rich fragrance that isn't going to overwhelm everybody. It's pretty good. Awake is pretty good. If you like coffee, this is a nice version of it. I think I might prefer smoke personally. Ooh, this is a hard toss-up. So this Discovery set is $32 if you want to buy a full-size bottle. They are 100 milliliters, which isn't a bad size, for $160, which for the quality of these fragrances, it's, you know, fragrances are expensive. I'm glad it's under $200. I think it's at an appropriate price point, to be honest. I think they could even probably get away with charging more. I know these aren't going to appeal to everybody, but they probably surprisingly will appeal to a lot of people. They just got to give it a shot. I think I want to mix Smoke and Awake. These are definitely my top two. I think a lot of people like these for a good reason. But honestly, the second runners up for me are Haze and Dark Chocolate. And you know, if you like whiskey, you might enjoy Malt. I just didn't get much out of it personally. And then Night was that body odor fragrance that not my cup of tea. So that's my first impressions of Akro. I have to say I'm really impressed. I want them to make more. I think if they did a whole nother series of another theme, that would be really cool. I think they're doing something right here, which I love this tin. Alright guys, let me know your thoughts. If you tried any of the Akro fragrances, what are your favorites? What do they remind you of? What do you think makes this niche brand unique? Please comment below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.